The view from my office today. Back working in the vineyards after a week off. We got a great view of the Basilica in Vézelay. And down there in the valley, that's a little village called Acan. And this is the tool I'm using. It's a brush cutter. We're just trimming all the weeds to nothing like this through the whole vineyard. It is crazy hot today, which is better than rain for this kind of job. So I'm going to try and tell a little story of something that's happened very recently, and I think it could have great relevance for a lot of people, especially those of us who are in partnerships of any kind, I suppose. But this is a particular story about a couple. It's about myself and Julie. She does the market every Saturday. She sells her coffee and her flowers, and you know, I get up early and I load the van while she prepares the coffee. And it's maybe half an hour, and then I drive her to the market, unload the van, she sets up the stall, I get the groceries, and then I come and pick her up again later on. But, you know, this Saturday just gone was different. I woke up really early before the alarm, which is normal, but the reason that happened is because I was really ill. You know, I needed to vomit, which is not normal. I was really sick, and I went to the bathroom and I emptied my stomach, and you know, I used to be a pro drinker, or I considered myself a pro drinker, so I know how to vomit, I know how to make sure completely empty, safe to go back to sleep. Maybe another hour, I thought I'll feel fine. Woke up with the alarm, Julie starts making the coffee, I start loading the van, and my body was fucked. Like, there was not a single joule of energy in any cell in my body. You know, I was like a walking dead, and I was just loading this van. It was so slow. Usually I'm picking up like stacks of boxes full of coffee and plant pots and things, and this time it was just like I got the smallest box, and I thought I'll just start off small. I'll just take this one little cardboard box. And you know, Julie couldn't take me seriously. She was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you really that bad? You've just been sick, that's all. You just ate something dodgy. And I said, yeah, I think so. And she felt fine, and she hadn't eaten the same thing as me, so I was quite happy to assume it was that. So she came out and helped me finish loading the van. And oh yeah, this is the thing. She had 2 weddings that she had to like do the table decorations for. Okay, so she's done all these flowers, she's collected this ivy from the garden. In fact, that was my job, and I didn't even get around to doing that, so she had to do that morning. Because she's doing these 2 weddings, she's asked a friend of ours to come and run the market stall. Okay, and he's French, so he can handle the conversation, and he's a people person, he's really good with all that. But I was supposed to be there just as an assistant to him, I suppose. But I didn't want to say it, but I was just thinking to myself, there's no way I can do this. I can barely keep my eyelids open. So we drove to the market, parked the van, and she got out the van, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to sit here for a minute and just rest. And I fell asleep. I remember being cold. I remember like pulling my sleeves down over my hands to try and keep my hands warm. But people usually come and help us with the van. You know, all the people at the market, they help each other. So she got help unloading the van. She got Pierre Emmanuel set up on the stand. And then she came back to the front of the van because she needs to then drive off and do the weddings. And she said, so you're not going to help then? And I was just like, I don't think I can, my love. I'm virtually unconscious here. I need to go home and rest. But you know, she realized that I wasn't going to do it, and she drove me home. She just kicked me out at home and then went off to do the weddings. Now I went in and I went straight on the sofa, and I basically drifted in and out of sleep for, let's say, the rest of that day. You know, I was dry fasting at this time because that's the quickest way out of any kind of digestive upset. I would say respiratory as well. I just automatically go for a dry fast at least 24 hours before I start sipping water again. She went and she did this crazy day, right? And she puts a lot of pressure on herself. She's one of these people, she's used to being a high achiever. She's handled marketing contracts worth millions of euros for big name supermarket brands of like coffee and tea, that kind of stuff. So, you know, she's like a powerhouse when it comes to this stuff. But she's coming home and she's looking at me like, are you serious? You know, women go through pregnancy and we just get on with it. We just keep going. All I could do was kind of lie that I couldn't stick up for myself. I'm too weak at this point. So and I don't want to fight. I realised that not fighting is the right thing to do. When you've got a dispute with a partner, the right thing to do is to just let them get it all out, right? Because the thing's going to resolve itself down the line, and you'll see how this does resolve itself down the line. But I just smiled and nodded like, yeah, you're probably right. I probably am making a bigger deal out of it than it needs to be made into. But I just wanted to pacify her so she'd go away and I could just get back to the business of resting and healing. And so on Sunday, I wake up and I'm already feeling better, and I have some fruit for breakfast, and you know, I've broken my fast then, and I feel much better, and I'm optimistic about feeling good for today, which is Monday. But later that day, Julie starts feeling sick, and she went down a lot harder than I did, and she vomited a lot more than me, I think, because it was partway through the day. She'd already had a bit to eat, whereas when it hit me, I'd been asleep. So I'd been digesting my previous meal. So I think she suffered a lot more than I did. And like, you know, this is 24 hours down the line from this kind of unfriendly, unsupportive treatment that she'd given me. And I felt the kind of the judgment, but I didn't hold it against her when she was doing that to me, because I know enough about her story, and I know about her feelings about the woman making it in the man's world, and I know her feelings about her father, and how quite often whenever I'm a disappointment to her for anything, it kind of lines up with how her father was a disappointment to her, right? So I don't take it personally. I don't take it personally because I know there's something else there. And I know it's difficult to do, but you have to try and keep in mind the good times when things are really right. And like I said, I took it with good humour, and I tried to say, yeah, you're probably right, I'm just being a big baby. But then when she went down, it's like the shoe is not on the other foot. Don't think of it like that. It's just, I care for this person, right? And okay, I'm making a YouTube video about it, but I'm sure as hell not making this video for her. And I'm not going to say to her, hey, there's a video on my channel you need to watch now. A lot of my videos actually come from things I've learned from interacting with Julie, or things that have come up after conversations we've had, just because that's how we learn, right? But like I say, I don't make these things for her. It's not about getting even or explaining something. It's about making sense of it myself, and kind of setting it in stone that I think I did the right thing. But maybe the most important thing is just, we know it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows every single day. It's going to be hard work sometimes. And it's a learning process. And there's going to be no bigger teacher. Well, I would say that the biggest teacher is going to be yourself. It's what arises from within, just through the process of living your life, exposing yourself to this experience, whatever it is, ultimately. That's the biggest teacher of all. But then the second biggest teacher is going to be the person, you know, assuming you're in a relationship, you know, that's going to be the second biggest teacher, isn't it? But it's beautiful to watch it unfold. Honestly, such incredible things are afoot in the world at large and in our lives. All of our lives, if you care to look. In the world, if you care to look. But, you know, also specifically my life and Julie's life and our life together, such incredible things that really all of these little things, these little fallouts are just ripples in the great ocean of me and she, you know, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And you know, I think if we've made it this far, we're going to go all the way. And you know, stay tuned, because it's going to be some pretty incredible stuff happening very soon. We do have to talk, and we do have to share our perspective. All of us has a little piece of the puzzle, the big grand puzzle. All of us has a little piece. And if your voice is absent, if your opinion is absent, then the puzzle cannot be complete. So that's why I continue to do this. That's why I do what I do with my frequencies. It's one of the biggest motivations for it anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to document that thing and just say, the one you're closest to is going to hurt you the most, but they're also going to teach you the most. Those painful times as you move through them are going to teach you the most. And if you can just take a philosophical view of it, honestly, we can just transmute so much suffering into learning. And that's what we're here to do. That's what it's all about.